Hello everybody and welcome back to another unboxing. Today I have something from New Craft Day, and this is a project that I have never tried before, and that is beaded cross stitch. So let's see what we got. As usual, I'll have the links in the description below along with our discount code, which is geared10 for 10% off. And I picked the tulips project for this. This is different packaging than what I've seen before. This is really nice. Shoes you want? I don't know. That's the brand. I don't know what, it looks like it's 9 count, but again, it's beaded, so the count, I guess, doesn't matter as much. There's a sticker in front of the picture, so let's get inside and have a look. And of course, I'm gonna destroy the package getting into it. Nice one, Sarah. All right, what have we got? Oh, this is exciting. Oh, sorry for knocking you around there. Okay, so we have a legend. Oh, and there is the pattern. So just a very simple pattern, a vase with tulips in it. Very nice. It's gonna look great. So we have, instead of embroidery floss, we have this, like, I don't know, just white thread, I guess it is. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's just a white thread. So we don't have to worry about grabbing a bunch of different colors of floss. But look at these beads. Wow, let's get a little bit closer. So I wasn't sure how you would attach these beads, whether they would have colored floss that goes with the beads or what. So it looks like just white floss and then these colored beads. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. They're very like pearlescent. I guess most beads, well, no, not all beads would be shiny like that. And I don't know, pearlescent is the best the best word I can think of for what they look like. They're so nice. And so they come numbered, just like diamonds in a diamond painting would come numbered. And it looks like there's different amounts of beads in each one. So very much just like a diamond painting, but obviously different from a diamond painting. Let's have a look at the canvas. All right, so the canvas is 9 count. I know beads come in different sizes. I don't know what size these beads are. I wish I could help you with that. I really like how they have like a very nice label on the bead packages. Let's see, so the legend is all just single colors, except for this one that's a line. And there are 18 different colors, and all of the colors look pretty well defined in the picture, which is good. It'll make it easy to do. So let's just have a very quick look. Color 1 is this dark gray, which is down at the bottom. And that's gonna be this like gunmetal color. Number 2 is these blue beads. Okay, so the color, it looks like the color kind of matches a little bit. Number 3, which is one of the pinks here, is a pink. Number 4 is a purple. Okay, my system stopped working because that is a pink. That looks like the most used color. And wow, this is a giant package of beads, and it's for the dark purple symbols. And as you can see, like, there's a lot of dark purple, but way more beads in the package. So it looks like they give you plenty of extra. Number 5 is in the tulip heads as well. Number 6 is in the vase. 7 is in the vase as well. 8 is one of the stem colors, as is number 9. So 8 and 9 are the stems. 10, oh, that's a really nice color as well that goes in the tulips. Let me get a little further away. 11 is at the bottom. 12 is a very light pink in the tulips. 13 is in the greenery. 14 is in the greenery. 15 is in the greenery. 16 is in the greenery. Oh, 17 is this white. The line is so very light that you can barely even see it. So just a few here. It looks like white, but it's got just a tiny, tiny little line. And then 18 is that last color in the greenery. So the vase is made up of a little bit of green, but mostly these more gray and silver colors, which makes sense because there's your pattern. And then these colors for the tulips are gonna look so nice. Now the needle that we got, I was under the impression that for beading, you get a long, thin needle. This does not look long and thin, but these look like fairly big beads, so maybe that doesn't matter. These are the instructions and they are completely in Chinese with no English. So let's give this a try. All right, I am going to put my beads just on the top of my waste container because it has a nice lid for holding these. They're just a little bit staticky, so just need to be a little bit careful about that. I'll grab this needle and I'm starting with number 11, which is this yellow color here, and it is in the bottom of the design. So let's get a little bit of this thread. I'm gonna start with just an arm's length of thread because I don't really know what to do or how to start this. Can't exactly use a knot. So I'm gonna try just weaving it under. I'm gonna go under 3 so that it's got a strong base of support. This is not the same as embroidery thread. It is thinner. So I don't know if this is gonna really hold it down. Maybe I should make a knot. If you guys have done this before, I'd love to know, what do you do? Do you make a knot? So it said to go on the diagonal. Yeah, this thread is a little bit harder to, it's a little bit slipperier than the embroidery floss. So I'll pick up a bead. Okay, yeah, this size bead went over the needle just fine. Make sure I don't dump out all my beads. That would be annoying. Okay, and then pull tight, and then I'm just holding it under the back because, like I said, this thread is a little bit like silkier than embroidery thread. Okay, I grabbed another bead. Cute. Yeah, so I have to keep on pulling tight. All right, so there's the first 3. I think I will speed up into a little bit of time lapse here. Okay, wow, I'm dumb. I put the bead on the back. Oh. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit done, and I noticed that the beads are a little bit up and down, which I think once I get in more rows, the beads will straighten out a little bit. The one time I did actually put a bead on the back of the project, and several times I've almost put a bead on the back of the project. So I just need to kind of make sure I am keeping track of whether my thread is at the front or the back of the project. I think I'm doing it properly. I didn't Google Translate the instructions yet, but they were basically showing that you always put your diagonal in the same direction. Let me just have a look. I think it was just trying to show like you always put it in the diagonal in the same direction no matter which row you're doing. I might Google Translate that in a bit. I've also watched, who was it? I think it was Stitching with Laura. I watched her do a little bit of this beaded stitching, and this is what she was doing. So I'm going to assume that she knew what she was doing, but I will look up and see later on if there's any tips or tricks. This thread is way silkier and slipperier than the embroidery floss, as I said, which means that I have to grab it with my fingers when I pull it out so that I don't end up just undoing the loop of thread in my needle. And I have my finger in behind the whole time, holding some of the work that's already been done so that it doesn't slip out. That's going to be a little bit harder when we get higher up on the project. So I might, I guess you can't really put this in a hoop. You'd have to put it in a big frame. If you had a big frame, it would work. If you have a hoop, there's going to be a section that you can't do because you can't put the fabric that has the beads on it in the hoop. So, whoop, I almost put another bead on the back there. So that's something to think about. Maybe it would have been better to start in the middle. I'm not sure. I guess there's kind of a limit to the size of, working with this easily. But it looks really nice. The beads are so neat. I'm going to keep working. So as I suspected, as you add more rows, the beads do tend to get a little bit more lined up. Like here where there's 3 rows in, they're very straight. And then down here where there's only 1, they're a little bit wonky donkey. And so this is like what I just realized is that with this project, you don't have to stick with just one color. Like you could have multiple trays of colors out and just go back and forth and switch colors as you go by picking up the beads, because you don't have to change the color of your thread. So that's handy. I think I'm going to try to tie this off. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'll figure that out, and then I'm going to work on a tulip so that we have something really interesting to look at when we're done. Oh, thread just got looped around the beads. There we go. Okay, let me finish off this section. So I think I'm just going to do the same, put it under I think I'm going to put it under 3 rows, and then because this is so silky, I'm going to loop back and go back under 2, so it's like extra secure. All right, so I am going to work on this tulip here because it's nice and close to the edge, and I am going to try switching beads. Now I do not have a bunch of trays, which I think is what would make this, do the best job, but I am just going to pull them out of the Ziploc baggies as I go along. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how annoying that is. So I want to have a really nice tight start. So I'm gonna go under at least 3. Actually, I think I'm gonna go through 5 and then go on the way back as well. Just to be extra careful. If anyone knows how to start this, if you're supposed to knot it or something, let me know. Okay, the start should be somewhere around here. It's right here. So I've made some good progress on this tulip. If you hear funny noises, that's my cat eating his crunchy nuggets right beside the table here. So what I have learned, whoops, and I keep on doing that. I keep on undoing the beads that I just did. But so a couple of things I've learned. So no, you can't just pull random beads out of the bag. It's way too staticky. It's way too hard to pick up the beads. So you would really have to have like a bunch of little trays if you wanted to just leave out the colors and like pick from the different trays. And I was thinking that all those extra green trays from diamond painting would be awesome for this. So if you just laid out all 12 trays and had your different colored beads on them, as long as you're not shaking around your table or like pushing your project into your trays, because they are also very roly-poly, bouncy, these beads. So there's already, I mean, I've barely started this project and I've already got like 4 or 5 or 6 beads on my floor that I'm gonna have to try to find later so that the cats don't like eat them or whatever. So I think like the big problem or challenge with this project would be just that, bead management. For regular cross stitch, it's thread management, and for diamond painting, it's diamond management. So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge. But this looks great, and as you can see, the beads, once you get several rows, they really line up very nicely. Let me just get this last one in here. The other thing is the thread, it doesn't, like if I'm putting a bead in the middle, the thread seems to stick up out of the project, and very rarely does it kind of get caught around the other beads, which is really nice because that could be an issue if you didn't go row by row, like your thread getting caught on things. But I think just because of the material that it's made out of, it really sticks up into the air when you're putting on the new beads. One thing that I am being careful about is not making big jumps, and that's why I have been changing my beads fairly often. It's also really hard to find the hole in this purple color for some reason. Very frustrating. There's nothing worse than digging around trying to find where the hole is to stick your needle through. But anyways, it's looking so nice. Doesn't that look great? Really shiny, really pearlescent. I'm sorry to use that word so many times. I wish I had a better word for it. Opaline, opalescent? I don't know. But it's just that kind of pearl shade. Oh my goodness. I need to expand my vocabulary when it comes to like color words, because sometimes when I watch back my video when I'm editing, I'm like, why did I use that word so many times? People are going to start hating that word by the time this video is over. But honestly, when you're making a video and all the only word that you can think of is pearlescent, then you end up saying it 7,000 times. So pearlescent, pearlescent, pearlescent. And I apologize in advance if you have nightmares about pearls and clams. But as you can see, it's coming together really nicely. I'm finding it really easy to pick up the beads. That's the one thing that you can't see because it's off camera, but let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just going in and grabbing a bead on the needle, and I leave it on the needle when I go to put the needle in. And it's just really easy. Like I'm getting really good. It's going really fast. So this is a super fun project. Let me just finish off this little row here, and then I'll show you. So there is the finished area. It looks great. The beads are lined up so nicely. One thing I did find out though is don't follow this chart. This chart where it says number 2, that was actually the number 3. And the reason is this has its own code. It's kind of like the Joy Sundays where the pattern is different than here. But like, I don't even know how you're supposed to figure out what these numbers are. I guess you would just line them up by color. But anyways, for when you're doing the pattern, definitely go by this. Don't look at the pattern. It was very confusing for a moment. So there's the project. This is the tulips. The tulips beaded cross stitch by Shujian, and it is from New Craft Day. And you can get 10% off from New Craft Day with our discount code GEARED10. And I really like this project and I recommend it. I think it looks great. I think it's going to look great when it's done. Very fun project. All right, everyone, have a really great day. Bye.